Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Hump Day Hotline on the Buffalo Rumblings Vodcast Network. My name is Joe Miller. I'm the host of the show, sitting right alongside my co-host over there, Jay Spencer King. Jay Spencer King, what's up?
What is going on, man? How's it going?
I'm doing well. It's funny. I created that extended intro obviously for Jerry Hughes, and it was an extension of the song that's normally our intro song. And as I was listening to it, it's like, my heart, it knows where I belong. And I was like, oh, wait a second, this kind of fits. Like inadvertently.
He's going back home. He's going back home.
But he also belongs here. So it's just, I don't know. I just was sitting there going, that's funny when that happens. So, but yeah. So what's good in your world, my friend? How are you? It's Hump Day. Everybody jump on that hump that like button. Hump Day.
Yeah, hump that like. Go ahead and do that, man. Everything is going good. It's been a busy couple of weeks, but it's a good thing. Good busy.
Yeah.
Obviously I went to the draft, and that's why I missed Hump Day last time. And
lucky.
Then yeah, it was fun, man. You got to go next year. You got to. I know you don't like Kansas City, but I'm telling you, you got to go.
City, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, but that was awesome. And then I've just been doing a lot of things, man. I'm somewhat coaching now a little bit, so that's been taking up a lot of time. This weekend I'll be hanging out with Levi Wallace and Jordan Poyer and a few other guys for the Levi Wallace Classic. So it's just been fun. I'm enjoying life right now when it comes to the world of content creation and Buffalo Bills sports.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. You've had quite the whirlwind here the last couple of weeks, and I'm jealous, legit jealous of that. And then last night you had Zemo on the show, right?
Zack Moss.
Talk a little bit. I loved it. It was great. The interview was great. Talk a little bit about that.
He's first of all, Zack Moss is just awesome. Anybody who knows me, like if you've listened to the Code of Conduct, like I've always been like a big Zack Moss supporter. I've tried to claim him as RB1. It didn't quite happen that way, but last night he gave us some insight as to kind of what held him back last year. He had a tendon in his, I believe his ankle. He said that just wasn't right.
He's got screws in his ankle.
So
I don't remember seeing him on an injury report. Do you remember seeing him on an injury report?
Just saying, and he was very candid about it, very open, and and we talked a lot about expectations and what to expect from him this year. And I know a lot of people think that the Bills drafting Cook is like an immediate he's gone. I think the drafting of Cook is more so going to leave Johnson out. I don't think it's going to be, that's just me. I don't think it's going to be Devin or Zach. I think that those guys are draft picks that they invested into heavily. I think with them investing in the offensive line, they're looking forward to seeing these guys ball out. And Zach said he's healthy. He said this is the best that he's felt since probably his rookie year. So, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, the insight that he gave you as far as just when you asked him about the game slowing down and stuff like that and how fast he said the holes closed, it was reminiscent to JP Lossman. I'm not saying that he's JP Lossman. It was just reminiscent to JP Lossman when they had asked JP. I don't remember. It might have been Joe Biscaglia asked JP Lossman. He was like, so what's the difference between the pros and college? And he said, the guys in the pros are open when the same guy in college is like covered. Like just the tightness of the coverage and everything else. But to hear Zach talk about that, just that, the holes close so fast and like all the defensive linemen are so good. And it's just a different world. And obviously the playbook part of it too. It was just a great interview. And I would recommend everybody listening to the show in podcast form or watching it live right now, go back and cue that up because it was fantastic.
I think for me, the part that I took from it that I really appreciated him being candid about was when I asked him about how a lot of times quarterbacks get time to develop,
right?
Like they get the 3-year thing, and for running backs, and I obviously brought up my guy Tremaine Edmonds and other players. I feel like a lot of those players don't get the same type of respect as far as time when it comes to development, and he kind of talked about that, and I just appreciate him being so open and candid with me because it was a great interview. So just go back and check it out if everybody gets a chance to. It was a very, very good interview.
Well, everybody, one more time, you are tuned into the Hump Day Hotline on the Buffalo Rumblings Vodcast Network, which is basically vidcast and podcast. It's a word that I don't know was made up, and I just like it. Welcome to everybody that's in the chat. Chris Janke's in the chat. Amanda Davey, Richard Rush, Gowries, David S. I'm in the chat. You're in the chat. Reservoir Dog, Tracy Victor's in the chat. All the usual suspects. Mark Johnson. So good to see all of you guys. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Just so everybody knows, we are Super Chat Live. So if you want to ask us a question, or if you have a comment about any of this evening or today's topics, please feel free to super chat us. We will get to it. We'll try not to miss it. We'll get to your comments if we can, just through the conversation if something pops up. It's easier when it's two of us, because when I'm talking, you can view the comment section, and when you're talking, I view the comment section. When you're alone, it's not quite as easy. Like it doesn't go so well. It's not. I need a producer is what we both need, a producer. But also, whatever platform you are listening or watching on, please like and subscribe, and then click the little bell if you're on YouTube so you get all of the updates whenever Buffalo Rumblings goes live. And we have a bevy of shows and even more to come. So now the week starts with the Overreaction Show, 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. Monday nights, the John Fina Show will return at some point, probably not until practices and training camp starts, but that's at 8. Or I think 9. Sorry. So I got to back up. Intentional Grounding with Sterling. I believe Sterling Furrow is at 8. And then I believe Fina is going to be at 9. So me and Fina will be at 9. Tuesday is you, Code of Conduct. Wednesday, Hump Day Hotline. Thursday, the Buffalo Nerd with our friend Colt Schroeder. And then Friday, Food for Thought. And then when is the Chop Up?
The Chop Up is Saturday nights. Are you going back to doing? And
4 is too many. I'd love to see somebody pick that up and run with it. I'd love to see somebody take the time to shine and kind of go with it. 4 is too many shows. Something's got to give. And as much as I loved it, it started off really super strong. And then after a while, like not as many people were coming in to chat with me, but I'd love to see somebody pick that up because it's a great concept.
Well, I think I think 4 isn't too many, but I understand where you're coming from. I just like you doing it. I think it's a great show. I think it's a great concept. But so if you're not going to be back with that, then I think we might try to talk guys into letting the Chop Up be 8 p.m. on Saturdays. If not, we'll stick to 9. But
yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a round robining it. So somebody different maybe hosts it every week. 4 is a lot, dude. We signed Sterling free agency. It's true. Yes. And Sterls is me, Spence and Sterls are we boys. So we're looking forward to we're looking forward to creating content together, and we're looking forward to going to Bills games this year together. I already told Sterling that if week 1 is a home opener and then week 2 is the Monday night game, he's got to come to Buffalo for a week and a half because he can work from home, which you can too. I was like, you got to come. He's like, I'm only doing that if I'm staying at your house. And I'm like, let's go, bro. Let's go.
I don't even know why he threw that out there like it was a question. Like Joe is gonna this is happening. This is happening.
Let's go. So our first topic of this show goes back to the actual intro. And for those of you that did not get a chance to see the intro because you're listening in podcast form, Jerry Hughes, longtime Buffalo Bill, has officially signed with the Houston Texans to basically, I'm guessing, to finish out his career at home. He's from Houston, so there are no contract details for Jerry Hughes at this point as far as how long the contract was for. I can give you information about Jerry Hughes as a Buffalo Bill, though. Jerry Hughes was he is fourth all-time in Bills history with 53 sacks. He's actually got 58 total in his career. He also has 7 postseason sacks. He was ranked 15th last year as the in pass rushing efficiency. He said this on Twitter and Instagram today: to the Bagulas, my teammates, coaches, and staff, and of course, Bills Mafia. I'm so thankful for the people I've met and friendships that were formed. It's been an amazing 9 years. My family and I enjoyed it all. Forever grateful and unbelievably blessed. Which, short but sweet, to the point. It was awesome. Yes, Addison went. We're not worried about Mario Addison. Are we worried about Mario Addison going to the Texans?
No. I was actually, if he needs help packing, you know what I mean? Like I will volunteer my services. I will help you get to Houston, homie. Like, let's do that.
So instead of talking about what our thoughts are right now about Jerry leaving, right? Let's talk about Jerry in the beginning. So Jerry, for those of you that don't know, and most of you probably do, he was acquired via trade in his 4th season in a trade with Kelvin Shepard. So he was a number 1 draft pick, I think 31st overall, and Kelvin Shepard was a number 1 draft pick. I'm not exactly sure where Kelvin went for us. And the Bills just basically were like, you want him? Do you want him? Let's do it. And they just swapped him. Kelvin Shepard ended up on a different team after that, maybe 2 different teams after that, washed out of the league, whereas Jerry Hughes, the phrase at one point when his contract was up was pay him Hughes money, meaning pay him huge money. I know the Browns wanted him really bad. Browns fans did. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts that first year when he had 10 sacks as a Buffalo Bill?
I mean, holy smokes. I mean, but obviously that line that we had was unworldly, you know, like I'm hoping that the line that we have this year resembles that line to some some form. We got Von Miller now. You
Yeah.
can compare that to Mario Williams. Not the same player, but I mean, like, impact wise, you can hopefully compare that to Von Miller. And then when Jerry came in, man, he was somewhat of an unknown that people were like, well, he could potentially be like, that was the conversation when he got him in the trade. It seemed fair at the time. We won that trade.
Yeah.
I know we talk about Doug Whaley a lot. we give him a thank you, Doug, for that one. That was the one that I can give you some credit for.
And like a lot of times I misspoke. Kelvin was actually a 3rd round pick by the Bills, and he is coaching as well. So Chris Jenke is right on both of those. Chris Jenke, the encyclopedia, is right on both of those situations. So I don't know why I thought he was a 1st round pick. For some reason, I thought they swapped 1st round picks because they were both heading towards bust land. But if you want to talk about a fleecing 3rd round pick for a 1st round pick, man, and yeah, Jerry turned into Jerry. So Jerry. Obviously, when he was opposite Mario, I had hopes that the Bills were going to find some way late, maybe even right before training camp, to bring him back to play opposite Von Miller. I thought that he would be lights out. If Von Miller's getting the double teams that he has faced since, Mario left, I thought that this could be quite the swan song or whatever it is, like that last kind of like last hurrah, last year or two as of his career as a Buffalo Bill. Clearly the Bills believe either they're set in that situation at defensive end, or he didn't want to maybe play for the money that the Bills wanted to pay him. But I think he could have been extremely effective in this defense. What do you think?
I agree a trillion percent. I think, I get why we couldn't fit him, quote unquote. I get why it's like, okay, it's expected that he's going to move on. But just from a emotional standpoint and just from like a nostalgia from him being the longest tenured Buffalo Bill, and
right.
It's like, man, any year that you feel like it's going to be the year, you kind of want those guys. Like if I could get there's a handful of guys, not many, but there's a handful of guys where it's like, if I could unretire you just so you can come in and like be on the roster this year so you can get a Super Bowl. Like Kyle. I feel like Cal for sure,
Eric Wood.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that is like and Jerry is one of them for sure. And it's just is heartbreaking when you look at it from that standpoint, because and I got some flack on Twitter for it. I'm like, he belongs on the wall. Like when the new stadium goes up, he belongs on the wall. And I have some people.
Go ahead. No, I was agreeing with you. Like,
well, I had some people like, this is a loser's mentality. Like he wasn't even that special, and he wasn't. I don't know if people really watch the Buffalo Bills play. Because now I'm starting to get concerned when people say stuff like Jerry Hughes doesn't belong on the wall.
Yeah,
I'm really concerned that, like, because I give Bills fans, I'm part of Bills Mafia, so I give us a lot of credit. I'm like, dude, we're the smartest damn fan base in the entire league. We know football, and if you come at us with stats, we'll be able to talk you down. And I'm getting people in the fan base telling me that Jerry Hughes does not belong on the wall. Mind blown.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Belongs is a weird word for me, and I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But because if I'm throwing the word belongs out there, then I've got Kyle Williams to go with it. I've got Eric Wood to go with it. I've got Fred Jackson to go with it. Like there's a number that might be the 4. There's like 4 guys. You don't think Fred Jackson goes up? Right. And that belong is the weird word.
See, Fred was more of it was an emotion. Like everybody loves Fred and it's emotional.
Yeah.
Jerry performed that way.
Yeah.
Like I know he's the 4th leader in sacks. I know it wasn't Bruce Smith numbers, but he performed that way.
Yeah.
Freddie, he performed, but not like, you don't look at Freddie and it's like, okay, yeah, we didn't need another running back. Like it hurt when we cut him, but we understood. Like, okay, it's time.
For sure. I don't disagree with you at all. And I can give everybody some numbers as far as that goes. So career, 9 years with Buffalo, 3 years with Indianapolis. He played in 144 games, started 127 as a Buffalo Bill. He had 1 interception. I think he had -3 yards, so he didn't get very much on that one. But he did have 53 sacks, as I already stated, 58 total in his career, 7 in the postseason, 350 tackles combo, solo 235, tackles for loss 74. I mean, the dude was a monster. So I mean, you're talking about a guy from a sack standpoint. The first year he was a Bill 10, second year he was a Bill 10, 5, 6, 4, 7, 4.5, 4.5. And a lot of those after the 10 were when Mario wasn't here or was with Rex, and he changed the scheme completely. or there was nobody else on the defense, to include the last several years. I mean, Jerry Hughes, I've said it, you've heard me say it 100 times, held every single play. Just about every single pass play that he's rushing the quarterback on, he's being held, and he's never getting the calls. Now, the question is why? Is it because he rose quite a bit of stink early in his career? I mean, he was the guy that was always kind of hair on fire, playing with his hair on fire and upsetting the referees and saying things, and he was kind of a loudmouth as far as that goes. Now, he tempered out as he matured, right? He became a team captain. But I don't know why they never made those calls for him. I don't know why he did not get the calls that he should have gotten, because he was a terror. He was maybe not the guy that they're defensing against, but he was a guy they had to worry about, right?
Well, I feel like they absolutely were scheming defensively against Jerry Hughes, and it hurts when you have guys like Starla Tulele opt out a full season, or like he's injured often, or it hurts when you don't have the full complement of guys around him.
Right.
But Jerry Hughes, he belongs, and I know you don't want to use that word, but I'm saying, like, in the grand scheme of things for Buffalo Bills football, like, it's going to be hard pressed for you to name me 5 defensive linemen that you would take over Jerry Hughes' career. Like, it's just going to be tough. So, and I'm not talking about just sack numbers. I mean, in general, everything he did on the field, the leadership that he brought, somebody spoke earlier to the fact that he was a big part of the process. He's the only one that really, and I'm sure Wood and Kyle would have kind of lasted if health allowed them to, or Kyle just retired for other reasons. But, I'm sure they would have lasted as well with the process. But he's the guy that did. Yeah. And listen, the reason, he's not the only reason, but a big part of the reason why the Buffalo Bills is who we are today, or are who we are today, Jerry Hughes plays a big part in that. And if you don't respect that, I can't have that conversation with most people.
Yeah, it's a little strange. So him moving on is bittersweet. I mean, it's one of those things where not everybody is, I think, was it Chris said, not everybody plays forever, nobody plays forever. And there's an aspect to, you want some guy. Kyle Williams is a guy, like you said, Eric Wood. I'd love to have those guys back. That's funny. Brady's going to try to play forever. I'd love to have those guys back. So it's a part of the business. And I was talking with a player this week, and we were just talking about changes in general and how certain players were going to handle those changes. And he basically flat out said, we've adjusted before. It's fine. And I literally said, yeah, it's almost, I mean, for you guys, the only constant is change. And he goes, that's absolutely right. He goes, and you just adjust. What's weird for me, and I did not bring this up in that conversation, what's weird for me is how they go from being this close, tight-knit family. Because the Bills, and I know you don't always like to talk about the 90s Bills, but looking back at the 90s Bills, that family feeling is very similar. Like, there's a very similar family feeling between that team and this team. Fina talks about how close they were and how close they still are. But free agency wasn't then what it is now, where guys just come and go. They're on the roster. Bill Polian and John Butler weren't signing guys to 4-year contracts and then cutting them after 1 or cutting them after 2. Like, if they signed a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal, they were here for 5 years. That's just how the contracts worked. What's weird to me in all of this is these guys are so close, and they know, some dudes are getting cut. Some dudes got cut last year. Well, not a lot, not all the dudes we thought, but some dudes got cut this year. It's gonna. I mean, I know it's a business, but it'd be like us, you and me and Sturls. We get to do this for a couple of years, and we're really good friends. And then right before the season starts, they're like, "Hey, guess what? Joe Miller's gone. We just don't have room for him." I mean, how do you? Sterling's gone, or Spence is gone, or Bruce is gone. How do you move on from that? I'd be like,
I'll just sign Chris Janke. I'll just sign Chris.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know what you mean. I've got an emotional tie to you. I mean, I love you. We're boys. We're still going to be boys if you go to Built-In Buffalo or something like that, but we're not going to be as close as we are right now.
If I'm in Buffalo sports, I'm only doing Buffalo Rumblings. That's not a shot at Built-In Buffalo, so don't take that on run and start no drama. But I'm saying I'm Buffalo Rumblings to the core. Like, that's happening. But I feel what you're saying. And it is weird because, you're right. You have that camaraderie. You have that unit. And to your point, like, the 90s team was the same way. A couple years ago, I had Patty Thomas on, and she talked about how those guys were like a family. And like, I remember specifically, she's like, if they were getting in trouble, they were getting in trouble together. If they were doing the right thing, they were doing the right thing together.
Right.
And it just builds a certain type of friendship and brotherhood that you really can't replace that on the field. Like, those, relationships. You can't you can't duplicate it. So hopefully
Yeah.
the newer players coming in, buy into that, and
Yeah.
they really try to build on those relationships. And I do just want to say, I don't mind talking about the 90s. It was at the time,
Yeah.
it was like when Josh was on his come up,
Yeah.
and everybody, I just felt like nobody was giving this team credit because it was
Agreed.
still being compared to the 90s. So it was like, look, we got to stop talking about the 90s.
Agreed.
Now I feel like Josh and the team has their respect. And I feel like now, I mean, obviously we do. We're Super Bowl favorites. We're like, I think we're going to get, don't quote me here, I think we're going to get like 6 primetime games.
5 is the max. I think 5 is is 5 the max or 6 the max? 5, and then you can be flexed 1. I think 5 or 6 is the max. But yeah, so you think we're going to max
any game they can flex them to, they gonna flex them to. Like, it's awesome. Josh is a hot ticket. Like the way it's going right now. I'm hearing Sunday Night Football for the Green Bay Packers.
Don't go there yet. We're gonna get there in this show.
But I'm just saying, like, these are prime time games. Like the first game of the season. So I won't go there. But I mean, like, I can list 4 off the top that they already announced. Where it's like, holy smokes! Like the Buffalo Bills are that ticket.
As a teaser, this will be the first year where it looks like they're starting to give us the primetime games early in the season versus primetime games late, which is
right.
I know there's an NFL strategy behind it. So nobody's going to convince me that they don't sit around thinking about who the primetime games are going to be early in the season to kind of like get fan buy-in in the season and kind of get people pulled in versus the primetime games late in the season. Maybe teams they think are going to make a push or who they think they're going to get beat up on. So by then, the winning teams will be who the winning teams are. And they get beat up. The bad teams get beat up on. I'll leave the Jerry Hughes thing with this. So I have thought, we're all on social media, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And I have thought many times in the last couple of years, since Josh started kind of really looking good. So probably since that 2020 season, just seeing the game day posts, and Brittany Williams is always with Jerry's wife. Always, like all of the pictures that she posts and all the pictures that Britt posts, they're always together. I started thinking a couple of years ago, these two are like really close. Like, what's going to happen when Jerry's kind of gone? And what's funny is, like, Brittany posted today, every good memory I have in Buffalo, you're in it. And this is going to be really, really hard. And I got to think that Josh, I mean, I don't know that it's ever come out that Jerry was the leader of the defense, but if you think from a tenure, from a maturity standpoint, from an age, I mean, they call Josh dad, which is funny because he's not the oldest guy on the team. But you got to think that Jerry was kind of like the de facto leader of that defense. He was the guy that everybody looked to, right? For what, somebody needs to say something now. It's probably Jerry, right? Or Micah. But it's just going to be weird. I think it's going to be weird for the team not have it. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how
I think it'll be weird from the standpoint of relationships, like you're talking about. Like that makes that makes so much sense. But I'm kind of going here with my man D. I'm gonna miss the hell out of Jerry, but Von Miller is a great new boo to have. Like if you're gonna break up with somebody, the upgrade or the glow up is nice. And to go from a Jerry Hughes to a Von Miller, I think, I'm not saying we're gonna forget Jerry, but I think those emotions are going to fade away quickly once the season starts and Von Miller starts doing Von Miller things. So I'm not too worried about that. I just I wish him well, man. Like I posted the other day or yesterday, whenever it was, like, just thank you for everything that you did for the city, everything that you did for the franchise. So I just want to reiterate that here live, and hopefully if he listens or somebody could get it to him, like, hey, Jerry, I appreciate you. You were, you were a big part of it. To be honest, he was a big part of my entire fanhood, though. So like, because, I was born in 86. And so a lot of people my age, obviously, were like, I remember the 90s. We remember it as kids. I remember my parents being pissed off, but like, I wasn't like a Bills fan in 92. I was 6.
Right.
So when I started to fall in love with the team, and then the older I got and really, really, I became like a real football fan. Like real, because I was a basketball fan for a long part of my life. And then, once the team started to kind of make different moves and the older I got, Jerry was one of the staples for my, when I think about Buffalo Bills players. So I love Jerry. I want Jerry to know that he's one of those guys that, like, he'll never be forgotten, at least by me, when it comes to Buffalo. That's my dude. And Jamie, I am not a baby. I'm a grown man. I am grown.
Jamie was born in 77, just so everybody knows.
She's young. See, she talking about me. She's still young.
So let's transition now to the other topic of the show, which is the Buffalo Bills. The schedule, the full NFL schedule releases tomorrow, including obviously the Bills schedule Thursday. For some of you listening, it will be today, as this podcast will drop immediately after the show, and you'll be listening to it on the way to work tomorrow. So we know a little bit about some things that have been released by the NFL. The Buffalo Bills are playing Monday Night Football Week 2 at home against the Titans, which I am amazingly stoked for. And then there's a whole bunch of leaks. One thing we do know, and we can get to this in a second, I have all of our opponents, and I could probably, I could probably pull it up and show it as a file so you and I can be split screen and still on the screen. But I would like to go through those. We did this last year, if you remember. We went through all the opponents and what we think, and early kind of a thought on a win or a loss, and then which ones we would like to see. But what have you heard? So do you want me to give you what I've got? So I took some notes schedule-wise. These are just rumors. Week 1, we don't know. We've heard the Dolphins at home, which I don't like. We've heard the Rams in LA, the Thursday, like the opening game of the season, that Thursday night game, a couple days before the actual opening Sunday game. Week 2, we know is Monday Night Football versus the Titans at home. Week 4, there's a rumor out there that the Bills are playing the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Week 8 in KC is locked in. We know that it's a locked-in game in Kansas City. The Bills are playing there. 425, it's a protected game, which means it cannot be flexed, which I believe every network is allowed one protected game, and that's the game CBS chose to protect for the entire season. They're keeping that game at 425. Nobody's touching it. It's going to be at 425.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's just amazing to me.
Yep.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. Amazing. You're good. I love it. The Bills are playing the Packers, we believe, on Sunday Night Football. I don't know of the date. Have you heard a date?
I didn't hear a specific date. I did hear it in November.
Gotcha. And then the last one is, it was rumored yesterday, or I should say Tuesday, that the Bills were playing the Ravens on Thanksgiving in the 8:30 slot on NBC. Now, today, Wednesday, they're saying it's locked in. The Bills are playing at the Lions, which would be the 12:15 or 12:30 game on Thanksgiving. So that's what we've got right now. That's what we've got. What are your thoughts just about what you just heard? And then what have you heard? Because you told everybody yesterday not to be booking flights because some stuff's up.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we've been seeing is off. Like, I'm just a lot of what I've been seeing is off. But what I will say is I very, very much hope that the Thanksgiving game, if we do play on Thanksgiving, I hope that it's the Lions.
That's
that's just a personal thing.
A W.
Not even because it's a W. Like, I want good football, but I'd be at that game. Because it's a dome.
Really?
I'm not going to Baltimore
on Thanksgiving. Your wife would let you travel on Thanksgiving to a football game.
I am grown. I am grown.
My wife would not be having it. Beth would be like, don't come home. Buy a house in Detroit and stay there.
No, but if it's Detroit, I'll be there. If it's Baltimore, there's no way in the world I'm going to Baltimore in the cold.
I don't know that I would. I don't even know that I would want to go to Baltimore in September. Would you want to go to Baltimore? I mean,
heck yeah.
Really?
The seafood, man? Are you kidding me?
Well, that part, okay. I meant just to see. I don't know.
Lamar, listen, I know how the fan bases do, and it's back and forth here and that. Listen, the fan base is crazy if they don't like watching Lamar Jackson. He's one of the most entertaining football players in the world.
It's not about
that. To see him and Josh Allen go at it, absolutely, I'd be there.
It's not about it's not about that. They just seem to find a way to beat us outside of the playoff game that was here. And I just don't want to. I don't know. There's a lot about being in Baltimore, that stadium, that team, whatever. That's not one of the ones that I would choose, which we'll get to that in a second. But which ones are? I know people that have booked flights for LA even before this, so a month ago, because they just had this feeling the Bills were going to play the Rams. How would that even come visit me for the seafood? Well, if he's there, then we should just go there and stay with him. What if the Buffalo Bills are playing Thursday Night Football to open the season against the Rams, the Super Bowl champions, and then they're coming back to play Monday Night Football, which would be unheard of. That's like a 14-day or a 12-day break after week 1 to play the Titans. And then they're playing the Ravens potentially week 4, Sunday Night Football. They're playing on Thanksgiving. They've got a Sunday night game against the Patriots. They're playing against the Packers. They're playing the Patriots in prime time. That's not going to be a 1:00 game. The Buffalo Bills are on display. Like, the Bills are the NFL's baby at that point. Like this.
Yeah, Josh is Josh is the face of the league right now.
There's Simba, right? Like
Josh is the face. He's
Josh
the
is
face of the league.
Wildest dreams land.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. Wildest dreams land, right?
Oh no, Chris. I'm sorry. Chris talking about a garbage plate. I don't do garbage plates, man. I like my stomach.
I do.
Joe likes it. You can give him one. I like my stomach. But no, yeah, no, we're the darling team now, man. It's crazy. Josh is he's the quarterback that for years when we watched other teams and we watched other like everybody else like, man, why can we never get one of those?
Right.
Like I just remember obviously watching Brady and it's like, why the heck can't we get a guy like that? Aaron Rodgers, for the longest, I used to always say he's the best guy I've ever seen throw the football.
Yep.
And now we have a guy on our team that throws it better.
Yep. So this came from, I'm trying to pull up a tweet and it's driving me crazy. So I sent this to you today. If I can get it to come up. So this was from Jeff Kerr CBS, who's a verified account, and it keeps closing on me. My phone's not giving. So this is just what we're talking about. Josh Allen has 31 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns in his career. He needs 3 rushing touchdowns next season to enter top 10 all time for rushing touchdowns amongst quarterbacks, which automatically is like, whoa, if you think about it. This is where it gets over the top. Allen needs 5 to pass Randall Cunningham for 35. He needs 6 to pass Michael Vick at 36. He needs 7 for sole possession of 5th place. He's only played for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Young is on that list somewhere.
So I'll tell you what that means. And this is not me saying it in a way to try and be cocky. It is quite literally factual. Josh Allen is the best dual threat quarterback in NFL history.
NFL history.
Period.
For sure.
In NFL history. He's about to be top 5 in 4 years.
Right.
5 years. So I'm just saying, like, we could talk about it. We could, like, I know people are going to debate it, like, you're crazy, Mike Vick. And listen, it's a fact. Yeah. Josh did this in 4 years. Mike Vick played, I think what do you have, 11 years in the league, 12 years? I'm off. Chris Jenke will correct us.
But Josh Allen is in the room.
But he's the best dual threat quarterback in NFL history. And nobody can take that from him. Because I promise you, he's going to be probably 3 on that list after this season.
After this season. So we need 7 for 5th, sole possession of 5th. You think I wonder if I can look it up. Take the floor for a moment while if I can see NFL quarterback rushing TD. I'm gonna see if I can look it up.
Okay. Well, it's just amazing though, because when you think about the great dual threat quarterbacks in history, like a lot of people don't look at Dante Culpepper. I guess they should, but he didn't have the touchdowns like that. Cam Newton, they always compare him to Cam. He's already surpassed Cam in what he's doing. Like it's not because he throws the ball way better than Cam ever threw it. He runs the ball smarter than Cam ever ran it. You know, you talk about Mike Vick. Mike Vick, he was one of the most talented, one of the most let's see, Mike Vick athletically, I don't think that there's many people in the NFL in history that you could say like can hold a light to Mike Vick as far as athleticism.
Yeah,
when you're talking about playing the position of quarterback, Josh got him beat by a country mile because of his arm. He does, because of his arm
and his ability to read defenses.
And I was in a Ravens spaces last night, and they were like yelling at me because I basically told them like Lamar Jackson won't be respected as like a top 3 quarterback until he can make teams really scared of his arm. I'm not saying he can't throw it. They just don't game plan for that. They'd rather pack that box and say, you know what, you're not going to run. If you're going to beat us with your arm, damn it, do it. Until he can get teams to say, we don't know what to do. He's not going to be, you're not winning a Super Bowl like that. Unfortunately, it's Greg Roman. Get rid of Greg Roman.
I've got information for you. So if he gets 7, he's got sole possession of 5th place, bumping Mike Vick out of 6th place, or I'm sorry, out of 5th. Mike Vick and Tobin Raitt. So I'll just give it. So Randall Cunningham is 35. Mike Vick has 36 career touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Tobin Raitt, who I've never heard of before, has 37. Steve McNair with 37 as well. So they're tied for 4th. This is interesting and news to me. Jack Kemp, former Buffalo Bills quarterback, has 40, 3rd place with 40 rushing touchdowns. So there'll be a moment more than likely in Josh's career where he will be either 3rd and 4th with Jack Kemp or 3rd and 4th or tied for 3rd or like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's wild that there's 2 Bills quarterbacks that are going to be on this list. Steve Young with 43. Do you know who the leader is?
I don't.
You should.
I should.
I wore his jersey.
Is Cam?
Cam Newton is number 1 with quarterback
Well, I said
touchdowns.
Cam earlier. Yeah, I said Cam earlier.
You
But
want to know? You want to know what the number is?
what is it?
75.
My guy.
He's
My guy.
He's 32 above Steve Young, who's in the Hall of Fame.
That's my dog. I'm gonna tell you though, Josh is gonna get that. He's gonna go down as he. Okay, remember last year? I made a comparison to Josh Allen and and LeBron James.
Yep.
And people came from me in a whole different way. Like, are you crazy?
I remember.
Now, this is the reason why I made this comparison. At the end of his career, LeBron James will have he'll lead the league in points scored ever. He'll have over 10,000 rebounds, over 10,000 assists. He'll have a career triple-double for his career. Right. When Josh Allen's retired, he's going to, I'm not saying he's going to have the passing. I don't know. Like, it just depends on how his career goes. But he's going to be a top passer of all time. He's either going to be 1 or 2 all time on the quarterback rushing touchdown list. He's going to, like, everything that you measure quarterbacks by, he's going to be top 5 in all of it.
Right.
And that's what I call GOAT. That's why I compared him to LeBron. Is he there now? No, he's not there yet. He only had like the 2 great years, a good year and a bad year. You know, but it's on. It's on, man. It's on. And we have him in Buffalo.
Chris Jenke makes a point that I have made often on my show, which is I actually don't want Josh to have that record. I don't want the toll on his body that the record likely requires. And Cam Newton, yes, would be the example.
I just think it's different. And this is the reason why. And everybody knows I love Cam. So I'm saying this in respect to Cam. Cam never could throw like Josh. So the fact is, as a defense, Josh is going to have more opportunities to run without taking those hits because they're scared of his arm. So you're going to have defenses playing off and you're going to have defenses chasing around these guys. And when Josh gets that, when he can fling it out there, okay, he flings it out there. When he has to run, they're scared that he's gonna run like close to the line of scrimmage. We've seen it already. So I agree. You don't want him taking hits, but you don't want to change his DNA as a player. He's a big dude. He's running. Let Josh cook. Let Josh cook.
Steve Vega. Josh is a peacock. You gotta let him fly. You gotta let me fly, son.
Gotta let me fly.
It's so good. I was going someplace and then I saw that and just went totally. What was the name of that movie with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell? I can't remember. What was it?
The Other Guys.
The Other Guys. So stinking funny. Let me see if I can find how the heck. So I can't share. Can I not share a picture?
Tell you what, Dave. You can. Or did you load it up?
I loaded it up, but it's going to cover us. Is it possible for it to not cover us? Because it's an overlay, right? And if I do the share, I can't share it unless it's a slide, which sucks.
And David, I just want to comment on this. He says Cam, for those listening to podcast for him, he said Cam was Josh in year 1. I tell you what, I disagree, man. I think the only year that Cam had that was anything similar to what Josh Allen is was the MVP year that he lost the Super Bowl against the Broncos. That year, if he played that type of year consistently, and even that year, if you really look at it, he still wasn't like super accurate. He still wasn't like he was doing things, but it wasn't, with all due respect, because I got 6 Cam Newton jerseys. Like 6? Patriots, Cardinals. I love the dude. I love him. Wow. That's my guy. He's never been Josh Allen.
No, for sure not. Where is this picture? How do I do this? So if I do this,
why would you even type this? Like you about to get in timeout just for typing this out. Like why would you even type this?
Yeah, that's not cool, bro. I can't share this thing. So do you want me to I don't want to cover our faces. Should I cover our faces or do you have a way to
cover your face? It's okay. I got a face for radio.
Oops, wrong one. It's just I got a face for radio. So we're going to talk now just about the Bills' opponents and effectively who we want to see. Maybe there's a lot of buzz as far as that goes with who we would want to go, who we would want to travel to see. I'm in a couple different Bills chats, Bills Mafia chats, and that's all the talk has been the last couple days. And I would recommend that everybody that's watching us live right now, put in there who you want to go see as far as what teams you want to see. But the Bills' home opponents, Green Bay, Minnesota, the Steelers, the Browns, the Titans, the Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. Now, at first glance, which I know you've said, are you willing to share which games you're effectively coming home for?
Am I allowed? Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to put you on the spot, so.
Yeah, no, well, I think I've kind of actually announced it. I'm looking to I'll absolutely be back for that Monday night game against the Titans. So home game.
Yep.
I'm looking at that, and I'm realistically probably Green Bay. I'm also it just depends on the timing of year, but I'm very, very interested in coming back for the Cleveland Browns game as well. I know for the reasons why I know we hate Deshaun Watson, but from a pure football standpoint, it's going to be a heck of a game if Deshaun Watson is active that game. So I would love to see Deshaun Watson and Josh Allen go head to head. On the road, LA, I'm absolutely doing LA. The Kansas City game.
Well, give us all the road games. I didn't give the road games, so you give the road games.
Okay, so you mean like read them through?
Yeah, I didn't mention them, so yeah.
Okay, so we got Baltimore, we got the Bengals, we got the Bears, the Lions, the Rams, the Jets, the Patriots, Miami, you just throw up on yourselves, and then Kansas City. So I anticipate the Detroit game. It's a dome, so it doesn't matter what time of year that is. I anticipate being there. The Rams, I'm in that thing 100%. It's going to be. I feel very strongly that it's going to be Week 1 Thursday Night Football. I can't say that for sure. I'm not a source, but I feel very, 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 very confidently that if you were to say you were going to be in Los Angeles Week 1, you would be able to catch a Buffalo Bills game. So I'm going there, and then I'm gonna make that Kansas City trip because I don't want to I don't want to get to the point where like I'm so comfortable watching these guys away that like I never get a chance in person to see Josh and Patrick play. Like it's one of those things. Like it's the Brady and Peyton thing, or it's like the Rodgers, and I want to see that in person. So I'm absolutely going to Kansas City. So we're gonna have a good time this year. And actually Chicago. I'm looking forward to Chicago. I don't know if I said that earlier.
Yeah, for me, home games, season ticket holder, it's going to depend on, I have a busy life, and it's difficult for me to go to games, especially home games, any game really, and then do my show afterwards. This is one of those years though, where I might go to every game. You know what I mean? Like there might not be a game that I sell. Might not be a game that I gift. There might not be a game. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the year plays out. I got to see Aaron Rodgers play football. The Vikings, the Vikings game. So, the Diggs revenge game, as somebody just put in the comment section. I could care less to see the Steelers, unless, I don't know why, and you and I talked about this, Trubisky starting. It'd be great to see Mitch, play. I don't know why I've got a soft spot for him in my heart. It's going to be really weird to see Deshaun Watson in a Browns uniform. Really, really weird. I am amped about the Titans game. So I'm almost hopeful that is the home opener, the Titans game, because for me, last year, I would call it home opener week, homecoming week. That week, and you and I spent the whole week together, was amazing. Like, it was just so much stinking fun. And for me, the build up to this game, if this is the home opener, so if the season opens at LA on that Thursday night, and then the Bills come back home for that Monday Night Football game, the stuff that's going to be going on Thursday, Friday, you and I potentially doing a Hump Day Hotline live, but Friday night, the homecoming, right? Jeremy's homecoming party, the stuff Saturday, and then like a whole day of football Sunday, and then all day tailgating on Monday. Like that to me would be, I don't even, like the end of the world type of a celebration, if that makes sense. Like, I'm super, super amped. I'm hopeful that is the home opener. I don't know. The Bills came out and said that the home opener is going to be announced. Is it tomorrow? They're going to announce the home opener tomorrow. Yeah. Almost trying to make it sound like that this wasn't the home opener. I don't buy it. I think this potentially is, just like you said. The Jets are the Jets. They're going to be improved. The Patriots are the Patriots. The Dolphins are the Dolphins. It's funny that I'm least interested in those three games than some of the other ones. As far as the away games go, I've been to Cincy to see the Bills play there. I'm more interested in seeing the Bills play in Chicago. I'm interested in seeing the Bills play wherever you're going to go. So if you're going to one of these games, or two of these games, or three of these games, we'll obviously talk, and there's a chance that I might ride your coattails. KC, Chicago would be great. LA would be a dream. I don't know that I can make that trip. I'm out for Thanksgiving, whether it's the Ravens or the Lions, but that's just me. What do you got? What are you thinking as far as when you look at that home schedule, win-loss, just at your first glance, win-loss record? Put that in the chat too. So those of you that are in the comment section, the home games only, and don't be not realistic. Don't be like, 8-0.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Like, look at the game and really kind of think about who we're playing. And, sneaky good teams. The Dolphins are going to be improved. But so put it in the comment section. And Spence, what do you think as far as that home stretch, just home record this season?
Being honest with you, and I'm not being. I got 6-2 at home.
6-2. Who are your losses to? Or do you not think it matters?
Well, no, it matters. I think Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers,
Right.
and so I think that's the game that I'm most concerned about on the schedule, or at home schedule. And then until the Buffalo Bills prove to me, I know we made a lot of moves, but until they prove to me they can really stop the run, I'm super worried about the Vikings. Devin Cook he's like,
yeah,
he's just next level, and he's somebody, and we've seen it from Tennessee last year. We saw it from any team that we played with a very good running back. When we played the Colts, Jonathan Taylor ate us alive.
Right.
And so same thing. I think we're better than Cleveland. And even with Deshaun Watson being there, I think that we beat them. But no, I think Miami is improved, but it's still Tua. I saw a clip where they said that he threw like a rocket, and the thing looked like, it looked like I was.
Did you not see my tweet today?
I did. I saw it. But it looked so bad, man. It literally looked like somebody took a balloon and poked a hole in it and then just threw it.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here?
So for those of the people that are not on Twitter, there's a video out there that was actually put out by the Dolphins that Pro Football Focus, PFF, actually retweeted. And it's Tua rearing back and throwing the ball what looks to be as hard as he can. The ball looks like it goes about 40 yards in the air, of which Tyreek Hill has to slow down and come back for it, catch it, and then turn around and go. And it was called a rocket. And I tweeted today that this U.S. inflation thing has gotten out of control when it's even affecting pro football like quarterbacks, because they're just not making rockets like they used to, which is hysterical. So for me, I think that Green Bay game is a win. Green Bay traditionally has had a hard time winning in this stadium. Whether Brett Favre was the quarterback or Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings game is going to be interesting because, like you said, Dalvin Cook, that defense is good. And, oh, by the way, as much as we like to make fun of Kirk Cousins, he's an efficient quarterback, right? He can hurt you. He can hurt themselves too. I don't know where I land on this. The Dolphins make me nervous. I don't want to see the Dolphins in September. The Dolphins have a historical path of playing well in Buffalo early in the season. It's tough. A lot of people have put 7-1. I could see 7-1. A lot of people have put 6-2. I could see 6-2. At the end of the day, it's about sweeping the bottom three, right? The Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins, and then kind of letting the chips fall. The Steelers game is a win. I think the Browns game, they're a sneaky good team. The Titans game is a win. So Steelers, Titans, Patriots win, Jets win. Man, it's tough. I'm probably at 6-2. 6-2. Yeah, is that where you're at? 6-2?
Yep. Green Bay and the Vikings.
Green Bay and the Vikings. What about the away games?
Away games are a little more difficult to gauge.
Right.
Only because, so like, for instance, last year, when you look at Baltimore, they had 25 or 24 players on injured reserve. That's not the team that we're going to face, but a lot of those injuries were like torn ACLs or, ankle injuries that last. So
we dealt with that for a couple of years where we had like bad injuries all the time. Yep.
So it's like, is that going to affect the way they play? But like I said, Lamar Jackson he's Showtime. He's a big time player. So I think we beat the Bengals. I don't even think I keep saying this, man. I don't think they make the freaking playoffs. I really don't. I don't think they go from being in the Super Bowl to not making the playoffs. And if, like, y'all can quote me here, y'all can keep the receipts, I'll go back and tweet it so that way everybody can save it to their bookmarks. I do not think the Bengals make the playoffs. Wow. I think we beat the Bears. We're just better. I think we beat the Lions. We're just better.
Yeah.
The Rams, this one is interesting to me, but it's interesting in a different way. So they lose Robert Woods. Odell Beckham Jr. hasn't signed back, and even if he did, he has a knee injury.
Yeah.
They did pick up who's their big guy? Allen Robinson. So they picked up Allen Robinson to go with Cooper Kupp. That's still going to be a dangerous offense. So I'm at the point where I'm looking at it like, LA might get us that but I'm hoping that they have like that Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah.
I think we beat the Jets. I think we sweep the Jets. I know they have improved. Their draft was amazing. But Zack Moss, to tell you, he came on the show on Code of Conduct last night, and he told you the speed of the game is different. This first year, and the Buffalo Bills really are. Just take this in, Bills fans. The Buffalo Bills are really the best team in the league.
Yeah, they are.
So you're going to have guys excited to play the Buffalo Bills. These rookies with the Jets, they're not ready. So give them a year to get some experience under the belt, get all the, then we're fine. Patriots, I think we might split. I actually think the Patriots might get us. Miami, same thing. Unfortunately, I do think we split with Miami this year, not because of Tua, but I just think that there's so many things that they did to improve that team that if the Buffalo Bills have an off week, a la the Jaguar week last year, or something like that, and I just think that happens. I think this is our year to let the world know that we're better than Kansas City, though. So
I agree.
I think we take that step. I think Josh takes that step. I think Josh is MVP. I think it's going to be one of the very few times in history that the quarterback is MVP and also MVP of the Super Bowl.
Wildest dreams land. The Ravens concern me. The Bengals only concern me because it's in Cincinnati, and the Bills have traditionally had a problem playing in that stadium. The Bears do not concern me. The Lions don't concern me. That Rams game is going to be a Jekyll and Hyde game, and I don't mean that, no pun intended, as far as just, Micah Hyde. The Rams could come out and be a little flat. The Bills, we've seen them come out first game of the season and be a little flat as far, when you think of the Pittsburgh game last year. We sweep the Jets, we sweep the Patriots. I'd love to see us sweep the Dolphins again. Could you imagine being 9-1 against the Dolphins, knowing that Josh Allen was almost 10-1 if it hadn't been for Charles Clay dropping a touchdown in the end zone? I mean, that's ridiculous. And I too agree that the Chiefs are not the Chiefs without Tyreek Hill. I don't care what rookie wide, they could have drafted 3 rookie wide receivers. You don't replace Tyreek Hill that easily. So Casey's a win, Dolphins a win. The Patriots a win, Jets a win. I'm on the fence about the Rams. Man, it's funny because playing the AFC North, playing the NFC North, you look at it, and a lot of people said it, like, this is a tough schedule. It is, but when you look at who the Bills are, the team being one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, and when you break it down by team, I mean, the Bills, you're looking at what, 12-5 on the season, right? 13-4, 12-5. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to be 11. They're a number 1 seed waiting to happen. You agree with that?
I got them going 13-4. Yeah, I got them 13-4, and I think that's if not 1 is 2. But
it's so much of it's going to come down to, for me, the running game. I think the running game makes a big difference. Like the running game, if they can establish the run to make the run a threat. As much as I don't believe that Josh Allen needs the pressure taken off of him, because he handles the pressure just fine, and when he needs to turn it on, he turns it on. But to know that they've got that, you and I have talked about it. The running game is important. You've said it a million times. You got to be able to run the football. There's been huge swaths of games where they haven't been able to run the football. End of last season, they ran the football effectively. But if they can make a statement, if James Cook and these guys, Zack Moss, obviously Devin Singletary, if it's a 3-headed monster, to your point, if they can make that happen to where it's a concern and they've got to start stacking the box, look out. I mean, if they can be against stacked boxes and win in those situations, I mean, forget it. It's just, I don't know. And the defense has improved. It's too good to be true.
I agree about the run game. I think it's going to be greatly improved, though. Like, I think, just what we've seen from Motor at the end of the year last year, from what Zach told us as far as his health, and then the yak is good. I think that's the biggest part. I think the run game, if the run game stays exactly the same as last year, but we improve our yak.
Yeah.
I think, because think about it. Josh Allen was top 5 in every metric. Mm-hmm. With like one of the lowest yak, just period. So if he can improve that, he by far would have been the best quarterback in the league last year, like by far. So I think the yak is going to play a big deal, and that's why you bring in Crowder. That's why you draft Shakur in the 5th round, guys for yak. And so to be honest with you, I could see us going 14-3.
Well, a big part of the yak as well, which, not that you missed it, you didn't. I know you know this because you probably saw all the same interviews that I did. But Josh Allen works on something. Coach talked about it every year. He works on something and he improves an area. This year, Josh Allen has said, "I've been working on throwing the ball to a spot where the guys can run after they catch it." Like, he kind of owned. He said that it was partially the offensive scheme that they had, that it wasn't really built in, but he also said, "I need to throw the ball better, and I've been working on that."
Yep.
That's scary to think about.
It's scary for the rest of the league, and it's fun as hell for us. It's about to be a problem. It's about to be a problem.
Yeah, and so Sal comes in and he says, "People have to stay healthy. Slow down, please." So Sal, yes, you are correct. And that always goes without saying. However, barring ridiculous, this is what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
Barring ridiculousness, meaning 18 people end up on the IR, this Bills team should still be able to win football games, to include if Josh Allen gets hurt for 6 games. Case Keenum is a guy, if he's schemed properly and he has weapons like he did with Minnesota, he can win football games. Regardless of who's hurt, this team is deep enough that it should. Is it going to make a 1 or 2 game difference? Yes. Is it going to make we missed the playoffs? No, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Go ahead.
Can we stop doing this?
Right.
Like, can we please stop doing this? Like, and I'm actually like, this is really something that I don't like. So first, it's a party in here. Okay. It's a party. Secondly, like, I don't know what everybody believes. Everybody has different beliefs than I do, but I truly believe that you can speak things into existence. Like, the way people use their words matter. The team has been one of the healthiest teams in the league for the last 4 seasons. They've actually won awards for it. They've won awards for being the healthiest team. They've won awards for getting guys back and rehabbed. Let's stop with all this negativity, okay? This is a party. It's hump day, okay? It's hump day.
Hump that like
Sal,
y'all.
I love you. I don't know you. I love you. But let's stop doing this crap. Like, for real. I was about to say the other word, but I know that I don't want to get in trouble with the network. You got to stop this, Sal. You're in timeout. Not really in timeout, but you're in timeout.
But even with that, so 2020, the Buffalo Bills went 13-3, and both of their main linebackers struggled with injury the entire season. Right? Cole Beasley played with a broken leg. The next season he played with broken ribs. I mean, and they still Stephon Diggs played with an oblique strain, which we're told is one of the worst injuries you can have because it's almost impossible to play with. This team has dealt.
Guess what?
Zack Moss has been injured. There's the amount of injuries that have come out since then, and guys. What year was it? Was it 2020 after 2020? Like 5 guys that ended up having to have surgery that weren't even on the injury report.
They didn't show up on the injury report at all, and they were playing through it, and we made it. So what I'm saying is, like, give the team credit for what they do. Give the players credit for being a lot tougher than what you think they are. We're not divas. We're not, we're not prima donnas or whatever it is that you want to call these guys. But seriously, the energy when y'all come into these shows and we in here having a party with y'all, don't come in here with that negativity, man. We just trying to love it up. We want to love on our team. We want to love on our guys. And I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry for yelling. I love you, Sal, but you can't. Don't come in here with that negativity, man. Don't do it.
Chris Janke, I watched several games last year with a bad back.
I did too. Chiropractor is my homie.
If we can win games when Chris Janke's injured, we can win games when anybody's injured, right?
And also, I do want to apologize too. I've been on edge since somebody on Twitter said I attacked him earlier, so I just been on edge. Like, wait, what? What? So sorry, Sal, but chill with that.
I had a little beef with a other Bills content creator this week too, because every time he would ever enter my mentions, he would just on the contrary. And I just called him a contrarian, and he got mad at me. He's like, "Why you got to be like that?" I was like, "Because you never come into my mentions unless you're going against what I'm saying." And I said, "And I don't think you've ever even liked one of my posts. So why are we doing this? Why are we doing this dance? Let's just undo it." Like,
and I'm gonna just tell you, both of us, we show love to everybody. Like, I purposely make sure I speak publicly, positively about everybody. I make sure that I support people's shows. I make sure that, like, it's a lot of I have people on my show. Anytime anybody asks me to be a guest, I'm a guest. And then you have these guys who you think you're friends with, and then out of nowhere, they just all they want to do is argue with you. And it's like, dude, I'm not debating with you. Like, I do a show 3 times a week for this. It's Twitter. Like, let's not do this. So I'm sorry. I just had to get that off my chest. People like, why do we have to fight? Let's just get along. Let's love each other. I say it every week on my show. Take care of each other, love each other, and live in peace.
I'm not
every week.
I'm not ending the broadcast yet. So that was not the end.
No, it wasn't the end. But I'm saying, I live by that. It's something that I say every single day, even when I'm not live on my show. I literally say that every single day.
Sure.
Like, I love people. I love everybody. Yo, y'all, man, some of these content creators, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, you know what I mean? When I get out this Buffalo game, it's gonna be on. Y'all gonna hear it. I'm just saying, right now I'm playing the politically correct move. But as soon as that move from Buffalo sports to, like, what my goal is, they gonna hear it. I promise you, it's gonna be something for real. No, I'm for real with that. I'm not even joking.
on the
There's
other
a few
hand,
of them. There's like 4 of them that they
I didn't
people.
mean to open this can of worms.
Well, no, because it's like you got to understand, and Bruce says it all the time. We're podcasters, so everybody has an ego. Like,
Yeah.
like we want our takes to be right, and I get that. But
Right.
the thing is, we're podcasters.
Yeah.
Like, you don't work for the team.
Hobbyist.
As good as we're hobbyists. So the thing is, your opinion is just as good as my opinion, or just as bad as my opinion. And the thing is, like, nobody is perfect. So
Right.
when these dudes start talking all of this craziness and they think because it's Twitter that stuff is sweet, it's like, no, y'all really don't know the dude that I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very, very politically correct and lovable on Twitter. Very, very, very.
Same.
And like, y'all gotta fix the energy, because I get tired. It's exhausting loving people when they don't love you back. It's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And I feel your pain. And next time I see you, not that I wouldn't anyways, but I've got a big hug.
We're gonna hug it out. We're gonna hug it out. It ain't you.
I don't have
to
I
had a beef with you.
And if you had a beef with me, we'd talk about it and we'd squash it. It's just kind of how it goes. But we got to get up on out of here. Yeah. Any final thoughts after that big long final thought?
Take care of each other, love each other, and live in peace. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
That's actually really a really great way to end the show, of course. But I don't really have any thoughts. I mean, I'm going to miss Jerry Hughes. I'm excited for the season. This was a fun show. It always is. Super big thanks to everybody that listens and follows and jumps in. And there's a bunch of people saying they've got our backs, and we appreciate that. We love you guys. At the end of the day, I can tell you this about, just to wrap up what Spence was saying. Neither of us are in this for the clout. Right, we're in this because fun and we enjoy it. And I don't know how to say it any other way than that. I mean, when push comes to shove, I'm not going to get pushed out. I'm just going to walk away. I'm just gonna be like, this isn't worth my time anymore. Like, I'm not in it for the fight. I'm in it to be friends, and I'm in it to be a Bills fan, and I'm in it to have fun, and I'm in it to enjoy all of this and all of this interaction. So so we appreciate all of you guys. We love all of you guys, and we're here to stay for now. And when we're not anymore, we won't be anymore. And that's just the way that it goes. And there's big dreams, and some dreams get realized, and sometimes, as Spence showed me today, you've got to jump. So jumps will happen, and when jumps happen, if the parachute opens, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I'm getting really cryptic at this point, so I apologize to everybody. But as Spence said, love everybody. So yeah, test negative, stay positive, love each other. Check on a loved one if you haven't heard from somebody in a while. But for Joe Miller, Jay Spence the King, you have been tuned into the Hump Day Hotline on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network. We appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you next week. Joe Miller, Jay Spence, go Bills.
Go Bills. Let's get it.
We love you. We love you, Jerry Hughes. We love you.
Love you for sure.
Love you, bro.
And bye, Mario.
Bye, Mario.